God is good.
Breaking news. The biggest news going on around the world, ladies and gentlemen. It is none other than this article here.
Oh, man.
Bye-bye, Birdie.
People are up in arms.
This right here is going to change the world, y'all. Yeah. Elon Musk is now saying goodbye to the Twitter logo in exchange for an X. Look, I'm being funny here. We are not, this is not the top news in the world. We're not going to stay here. But I just thought, I get on my news feed and everybody's talking about Twitter's gone.
Exactly.
And the bird's gone and now it's going to turn into an X.
Yeah.
And then he come out today and he said, they're not going to be called tweets. And let me tell you, Elon, I love you, Elon, but you missed it on this one. Elon said they're not going to be called tweets. They're not even going to be called posts. They're going to be called X's. Yeah. No.
Whoa.
No, I ain't going to be saying, hey, did you look at my latest X? Because I ain't going to, I'm trying to keep, this is a family show, y'all, but I'm thinking about what X used to stand for when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You put 2 more X's with it. I don't want people associating my internet posts with anything X. Y'all hearing me?
Such a first world problem, right?
Such a first world problem. The internet may soon bid farewell to the bird. As Elon Musk has encouraged a crowdsourced campaign to accelerate his vision, the wealthy tech entrepreneur may have purchased Twitter last year for around $44 billion, but his personal engagement with the platform suggestions that his potential blah, 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 blah. You know what? I don't even want to talk about this. But I just want to let everybody know that in case you didn't know it, if you're a Twitter fan.
We had to make mention.
Of
course.
But that ain't the breaking news. Here's what we need to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on in Israel. Yeah. I did a show this week about a soft coup attempt that was...
You did a great job, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Solid material.
That's been a very popular show. If you hadn't got a chance to watch it, go back and watch it, because even though a lot of the things that we thought might potentially happen through this soft coup was able to be avoided, some of it was not avoided. And there was some things that happened within the military. 10,000 soldiers refused to show up to serve their country. Reservists are backing out in their commitment. But in spite of all of that, Israel's parliament he got out, had that pacemaker, and I don't know how old he is. You remember how old he is?
I believe they said he's 73 years old.
73 years old. So a 73-year-old had a pacemaker and then walked out of the hospital and walked right into the Israeli parliament to make sure that he was there for this passing of this bill today. Israel's parliament on July 24th approved a law that limits the Israeli Supreme Court's ability to challenge parliamentary decisions. The law includes a provision that prevents the judges from striking down government decisions on the basis that they're extremely unreasonable. The law taking effect would mean that the Supreme Court wouldn't be able to review decisions such as the termination of officials on grounds of being unreasonable. The law, part of the plan, backed by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, would change the judiciary. And it was passed, now listen to this, by a 64-0 vote. And when I saw that, I was like, I don't know anything about Israeli politics. I was like, what? He got a 64-0 vote? Well, here's the rest of the story.
It's a little confusing over there.
Yeah, the opponents walked out rather than voting against it. So the first procedural vote was 64-56. So the 56 of the opposing group walked out and said, we don't have anything to do with this. Israel's in chaos right now.
Yes.
It's in chaos.
How many what was it, 100,000 people took
300,000.
300,000 people took to the streets.
300,000 people was in the streets yesterday or day before yesterday. Yeah. And many of them were actually in favor of Netanyahu. So it's basically just like our country, divided right down the middle. It's divided down the middle over there.
And this has been building and building. The day we left Jerusalem on our Israel tour. Yeah. 100,000 people all over.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, it had to be in that ballpark. The frustration, the problems, it's just coming to a head.
It is. But I think we need to take just a second here and explain what Netanyahu is trying to do. Here's the reality. Now, you can be pro-Israel. And by the way, if you can be anti-Israel, but if you're anti-Jewish people, let me just tell you something. You got a devil, because we don't believe in anti-Semitism. That is of the devil. Right. Any kind of racism is of the devil. You may not be pro-Israeli government. You may not be pro-Netanyahu and everything. That's not what this is about. You know, we're not saying everything that Israel does is great. We're not saying that we support everything that Israel's doing, but we support Israel. Right. Because Israel, the Bible tells us to do that, and that's the Abrahamic covenant.
Pray
and the Bible
for
says,
the peace.
Yes, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. So basically, in a nutshell, the Supreme Court there, I believe it's 13, maybe 15 justices, I can't remember. And they basically self-govern themselves. And so when they get older and they want to retire.
Yeah, this is very interesting what you're about to say.
Yeah, they just pick their own successors. They're not voted on and put in by government officials. They might look at their son-in-law and say, hey, man, you went to law school, so now I'm going to make you a Supreme Court justice.
That's not going to be problematic at all.
No.
We have a word for that in this country. It's called, nepotism?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that word means, but it sounded good. Yeah, I know. I'm believing you that's what that means. But because I'm not.
Billy Mitchell's out there, fast fingers.
Okay, I'm not real educated. But
come on, keyboard warriors, let us know.
And by the way, just give us a real quick. Everybody ain't got to do it. 1 or 2 people, let us know that you can hear us and see us pretty good.
I'm actually going to move this mic just a little bit closer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
A little different setup tonight, so work with us.
But we're having fun. We're having fun. We're in a television studio.
We are, and it's awesome.
We are taping 13 television shows, y'all, in 3 days. My God, we need prayer. We need prayer.
We want to thank our producer / driver.
Yes.
Mr. Bob,
look, we're getting a preview.
Such good care of us while we've been here.
We've got eyes watching us right now. He's over there in his little producer
laughing at us.
He's laughing at us.
He's laughing.
He's got his eyes on us. He's sitting there thinking right now.
What have I gotten myself?
What have I done? What have I done? Oh my goodness, this is so awesome. So look, before we move on, we got a lot to cover tonight. This is a very serious situation, and you need to educate yourself on what's really going on here. That they're not trying to destroy the judicial system of the nation of Israel. It's a reform. It's that they can be voted on by the Israeli parliament, and I just think that's fair to point out.
It's very volatile, and Sunday is when this began unfolding, and I'm just constantly asking what's about to happen, what happens next on this story, where's it going?
Absolutely. And if you hadn't already hit that like button, you guys do so good on this. You have really helped us introduce us to so many new people.
You really have.
You really have. Last week was our biggest show ever.
It was.
I don't know what tonight's going to do, but I'm telling you, last week blew our mind. It was the most viewed show we've ever had.
Share, like. Right?
That's the key. Subscribe, hit that like button, and share. If you're watching us on Rumble, we love you, Rumble.
We want to have a smashing night, so get to smashing.
Smashing. Oh,
smash that.
Look at you. Look at you. Your game is on, baby. We want to have a smashing night.
Well, I was introduced to a new drink
this
evening.
Wait a minute. You got to clarify that. Please clarify that. We're talking about a flavored water with a little bit of caffeine in it. Okay. We were not introduced. We didn't get up here in Indiana and forget who we were. Okay. All right.
No. So anyway.
Okay.
Might be a little hot. Just a little hype.
Just coming a little bit hype tonight. All right. So look, while we're talking about all this, look, somebody said you guys are like a couple of kids with a new toy. Okay.
Hey.
Thank you, Kathy. You're right. You're right.
Taking that in all the good ways.
That's right. Exactly. Breaking news. A lot of people's not reporting on this. There was actually a drone attack against Moscow. So this is not being reported hardly anywhere. These are the kind of things that you get here that you don't get other places. So let's just read this here. Video is beginning to emerge from Moscow showing more than one skyscraper in Moscow apparently hit. The video below is a different building than the one in the image above. Let's just hit this little video here and see if it'll play.
Что-то у нас взорвалось.
Look,
Блядь, я шокнул, чуть не вылетели.
A drone attack inside Russia. Wow.
It is very alarming. Will he go on to say how close this was to Red Square or any kind of details like that?
Let's see. The headquarters for the Russian branch of Leroy. Right. Russia's got a Leroy. The headquarters for the Russian branch of Leroy Merlin. Sorry, y'all. A French home improvement company has reportedly been struck. Moscow's Komisarmakase Avenue, close to Defense Ministry building, closed after drone fragments fell on the area. Multiple roads near Russia Military of Defense building in downtown Moscow, that can't be far from the Kremlin, have reportedly been blocked by police and military forces after claims that a drone had been downed close to the MOD the Ministry of Defense building. This is an additional video impacted in Moscow by drones. So we're going to play this video. And as we always say, we apologize for any language that might pop up that we might have missed. This is in Russia, y'all. Thank you for that super sticker, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Appreciate you, brother. That's amazing. Thank you. So here's what I want to say about this is that
we don't know about retaliation or
we don't know about retaliation
statements at this point.
No, and everything we've been reporting is happening in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Belarus, maybe Ukraine.
I know.
Now, apparently something is being taken to the Russian homeland. And I got news for you. I don't think Russia thought that was going to happen. And that's probably going to escalate. Now, on this channel, we doubt everything. So until we can get an idea from people that we trust. So we don't know if this is actually what they call a false flag or what.
That was a Hal Turner story that we just did.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I go to him pretty often, so I feel pretty good. But as we say so often, don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. So.
Yeah, and we reported not long ago about the Wagner group and what all happened on there, where there was that stupid supposed coup that was going to take over Putin and all that, which we proved very quickly. We doubted that from the beginning. But Lukashenko is the one, and thank you, Kangline, for that super chat. What a blessing. Thank you. But Lukashenko is the one that leads the Wagner group. And we have this article coming out today from the Gateway Pundit. Lukashenko says to Putin, he's getting a little antsy, saying, he says, the Wagner group troops won't. They're tired of just sitting there. They're ready to go. They want to kill some people. Let's just be real.
They're probably stone cold killers.
They are.
They're probably that certain personality type that,
Yeah, well, a lot of them.
They do that for entertainment.
A lot of them are convicts, murder convicts that were released out to put into the Wagner group. And he's telling Putin, my guys are ready to go west. Now listen to this, because remember, we reported that they agreed to go to Belarus and sort of go on the down low in Belarus. Well, now they want to leave Belarus, and they are telling Putin, our guys are wanting to attack Poland, the nation of Poland in Warsaw.
Where did we just send reservists there?
Absolutely, we did.
We talked about that last week.
We have people there, and I believe that Poland is either already a part of NATO. Thank you for that super chat, Pamela Baker. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Pamela.
But I think Poland's in the United Nations. Do you the NATO? I mean, the NATO. Do you know? I don't know.
I don't know if they're one of those. Is it 32 members now?
I think so. They might tell us in this.
Either way, we know when this first started unfolding, February of last year, many people fled to Poland.
Yeah, they did. They did.
We just sent reservists there, which we already had other soldiers there. So what is going on here?
Let's read this. On Sunday, July 23rd, Russian President Vladimir Putin held talks with Belarus's Alexander Lukashenko in St. Petersburg. Among the many issues, the two nations, by the way, I just misspoke. I guess Belarus president is Lukashenko and not the leader of Wagner. Sorry about that. What is the leader of Wagner's name? I can't remember.
Starts with a P.
I'm going to call him.
We'll find it.
Pichukachu.
Let's don't call him that.
Okay.
Billy Mitchell.
Among the many issues the two nations' leaders discussed, a statement from Lukashenko is making headlines all over the world, saying that the Wagner PMC group is itching to march on Poland. The Daily Mail reports that during a meeting with Vladimir Putin on Sunday, Lukashenko is reported to have said that he was stressed because he was having to restrain the Wagner group.
Bogozin.
Bogozin? Is that his name? Somebody helping us out? Bogozin.
I think that's it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. You're right. You're my dictionary. You're my encyclopedia, baby. I love you so much because you saw greatness in me.
Buy the book.
LarryRagland.com. Lukashenko brought new maps and showed Putin from which directions Poland was preparing to attack Belarus. According to him, one of the Polish brigades is now allegedly located 40 kilometers from Brest, although previously they stood 500 kilometers away. So they're moving closer and closer.
That's a little too close for comfort.
That's a major movement.
Yes, major.
He said, why do you want to go west? Go west, young man. So they said, we control what happens. Let's go on an excursion. Let's just go on an excursion. Let's go over to Warsaw and Rzeszów and refer to the Polish capital. Okay, the key military hub for the country. I mean, things are escalating.
Yes.
You know, we're laughing, but it's not fun.
Every week we come to get in front of these cameras and something else has happened. And it just seems to me like Russia is exhibiting a lot of restraint. Not just today.
Yeah.
But in all the weeks previous, that they could have done more, said more.
Yeah, and
or
I
even
wonder,
acted like they were about to do more.
Yeah, and we've wondered why. What is the agenda?
What's going on?
Because Russia has the ability to just
Squash
finish
them
this
like
thing.
a bug, yeah.
And it's just like there's something going on that we are not being told that is the big picture.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
Let's look at one more article on this about it. Just goes a little bit further into it. It says President Alexander Lukashenko is asking for authorization for the Belarusian People's Assembly. He's gone before his government to give him power to send military abroad. He wants to be able to send Belarusian troops outside of Belarus. President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, did the same thing in Russia 2 days before the invasion of Ukraine. So much like in America, we are supposed to declare war. At the very least, we're supposed to have a declaration of release from our government to use troops. And something similar to that in Russia 2 days before they invaded Ukraine, they had whether it was a ceremonial thing or not, they had the blessings of their gathering of officials to bless them. And now Belarus is saying, we want to do the same thing. Does this mean that Belarus is entering the Ukraine situation, or is Belarus going to do something else like we just covered with Poland?
We needed more voices to rise up in this conflict and make this even more confusing, right?
Yeah. So, Belarus is its own country, but it's basically part of Russia. Yes. I mean, there are a bunch of Russian puppets there. And so they're saying, we've been sitting on the sidelines. We've got trained assassins that you sent us in the Wagner group that are itching. They want to be in more. So if you hadn't smashed that like button, smash that like button now. And please bear with us as we are just, everything's chaotic here.
We're feeling our way through this.
Yeah, so if this is not the most professional, awesome, big picture live you've ever seen, just give us a little leeway here. Thank you so much for doing that. We love, love, love our big picture family.
Yes, we do.
You are incredible. You're the one reason that we're here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And by the way, to our partners that support us $5 a month, they click that join button right down below us. We want to say thank you to all our partners. I'm going to go ahead and give them a little love. You guys are the foundation of everything we do here. We appreciate it. There's CJ yelling in the background.
Foundation, inspiration, motivation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Sandy, we did a show, or I did a show of leaking. And if you have not seen the show that's called We Will Be at War with China in 2024, go find that and watch it, because
very good.
On that episode, I released information that was given to me anonymously from someone connected to the information. Got to be very careful. It's a live show, so I got to be very careful what I say.
Make sure you check all those boxes.
Yeah. So it was very serious, because they were telling us that we are about to see, and I'm talking about days and weeks ahead, the largest movement of United States military assets in modern time.
We're talking days, right?
Days, yeah, in days. Days, and we'll say days and weeks. And where are they moving? They're moving to the Pacific region. They're moving on the skirts of China, Japan, and North Korea, and Taiwan, and that entire area, and all the Pacific islands.
Pacific Rim.
The Pacific Rim. And then this person came back and said, we are being told by our military officials to prepare your troops for war, for actual war between the United States and China in 2024. And I said to them, can you tell me a percentage chance that you are being told in these intelligence reports that we'll be at war by 2024, and they said, barring a miracle, and God can do anything, 100% we will be in war.
That was very riveting. 100%.
100%.
So
now,
we know God can work a miracle.
He can.
Things can change. Things could possibly improve. But like he said, barring a miracle, 100%.
100%. And then you get reports like this, Sandy. The Chinese are actually, this is about the 5th time we reported this, is being leaked that they are actually fueling Russia's military invasion of Ukraine. Now, I'm going to take this back to us, and I'm going to go back to it. This is what I think about that. When I think about the fact that it's being revealed and leaked more and more and more, that many of the funds and the military assets that Russia is using in their war against Ukraine, and by default, we all know NATO is fighting them as well, including American forces on the ground there. That is telling me, it reminds me almost of World War II when you had the Allies and the Axis. You had all these bad guys had their own agendas, but they all got together trying to take out the good guys. And it's like China and Russia knows that something big is coming. They know that war is coming. Could it be that they know there's World War III coming? Because if you go to war with China and Russia, are you not in a world war?
Sure. And I think a lot of the power players have realized this for a while, and they've all been gearing up and getting ready.
They have been. And let's look at this article, because this is alarming. Chinese military equipment is fueling Russia's invasion. Wow. China is selling military equipment, including helmets, bulletproof vests, to Russia. Custom reports reviewed by Politico suggested. Russian buyers have declared purchases of hundreds of thousands of military items made by Chinese company Shanghai Hwen, which produces military-grade gear. Politico confirmed that the items on this declaration document match those on the company's online catalog. This spring, one of our customers came to our company to confirm the style and quantity of bulletproof vests, carefully tested the quality of our vests, the company posted. Said, fair chance he's Russian. The Chinese company added that this customer immediately directly confirmed the order quantity of the bulletproof vests subsequent to purchase intention. Russia has imported more than $100 million worth of drones from China so far this year, 30 times more than Ukraine. In Chinese exports of ceramics, a component used in body armor, increased by 69% to Russia to more than 225 million, while dropping by 61% to Ukraine to a mere 5 million. Chinese and Ukrainian customs data show. So this is very, very obvious. This is a global effort. The powers that be are working behind the scenes,
obviously,
to create a world war.
And it makes me really nervous, the level of connection, comfortability, communication between those two nations.
Yeah, absolutely. Between those two nations. The two, what do they have in common? Communism. It's the two most powerful communist nations. When the Berlin Wall fell, all the people that believed in democracy just thought communism's over with. No, they had a 100-year marathon, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They had a plan. They just sort of went underneath and just said, we're not going to be able to launch a nuclear attack against them, so we'll beat them from within.
You got it. Yep.
All right. So China prepares for a war timeline. We told you that China is going to war with us, and we're going to war with China. So look at this. It says that this person, I want to scroll down here and just show you this guy right here. This is I'm not going to play it all because it's just a bunch of talking, but this is considered to be the foremost expert. This guy right here, if I can go back to him, this guy right here, he's one of the most foremost, and this is an entire seminar that they did on China and the fact that China and the United States are going to war. They brought in all the experts at the Hudson Institute, and that's what this article is about. And it says, the focus, let me go back to this right here. A professor at Beijing's Communist Party school gave a speech in April 22 where he said, quote, "We need to reunify with Taiwan province as soon as possible with our overwhelming troops and firepower. Simultaneously, it demands cutting off water, electricity, and mobile phones throughout the island. Electricity, water, and mobile phones can be reconnected in liberated areas, but they must remain disconnected in the area the PLA has not liberated, particularly mobile phones." And this article continues to go on. You can go to Prophecy News Watch and you can go to this article because we don't have time to go into all of this, but it is a systematic breakdown, piece by piece, confirming everything the intelligence told us, that they are planning on a world war with the United States.
Yep. And they've been emotionally, if you want to say, capturing the minds when you're talking about Taiwan.
Yeah.
These people, look at what they've already been through.
Absolutely.
Their island being encircled and, threats against them, threats against us if we try to intervene.
Yes.
And how awful it must be to have lived. Some of these people have never known anything but the level of freedoms that they have. And now you want to tell them that their entire existence, everything they've known, their entire life is being threatened to be changed, to be taken captive.
Yeah, and they feel like they're their own independent nation. But they're this little island sitting out there, and they're like, who's going to defend us? Well, then America speaks up, Europe speaks up, but then they don't do anything. They send a few little things over there, and because they know if America does what they said they were going to do, they know that means there's going to war with China. China's made it clear, if you defend Taiwan, if we decide to do something and you get involved, you've declared war on us.
Right. And it's really messy because there are things on that island, things being produced that China, they can't allow to, they need to take control of the industry.
Absolutely.
I mean, the chips, the microchips, the processors. How much of this technology is manufactured, produced in Taiwan?
Right.
And it's a problem right now.
Right.
It's a big problem in this country that we can't get these components and these parts. And you could probably see it blowing up just over that one thing alone.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of other moving parts to this as well.
There really is a lot of moving parts. And this particular informant was very, very shaken, Sandy. They were very, very concerned. This is happening. This is happening, barring a miracle. And on the big picture, we believe in miracles.
We do.
But it is looking like we are going to war.
How many people even understand? I don't fully understand all the intricate parts of this, but how many people in our country do not even know these threats are out there? They're real, that this is going on, that we are moving in this direction.
Have you heard on, and maybe you have, but I don't, because I don't watch the main news.
We don't watch a lot of that anymore.
So if you heard on CNN, MSNBC, or even Fox News, the words come out of anybody's mouth, we are going to war with China, that military experts are saying we are moving assets, preparing to go to China in 2024. They may be saying that, there's some, rattling the swords and all this kind of stuff over there, and there's rumors. But look, you got to go to places like this to hear what people are saying.
Right.
And back in January, if you remember, we showed you what the Air Force general said. He was saying that to his people back in January. So, we got wars and rumors of wars. Jesus talked about that in the Word of God. We're going to always come back to the Word of God. He prepared us for this. He prepared us for pestilence. He prepared us. These are kind of things that are going to happen.
Yeah, so I guess you better be watching out for the old man taking the stage and the mic and starting to proclaim peace, because you know what happens when they say that.
Sudden destruction.
So look out for that.
Yep. But, one thing we got that we can count on, you remember when we was a kid? Rain, snow, sleet, shine. Your packages are still going to get there, whether it's the post office, whether it's UPS, whether it's FedEx. Stay home, lock down, stay at home, quarantine.
That's right.
Ship everything to your house. Everything's good. UPS will show up.
Click. Get those online orders like they're going out of style because, but not anymore.
UPS strike seems imminent. This article says why your packages could go missing soon. And look at the subtitle. Your packages could be lost in limbo, and that includes non-UPS packages. If UPS and Teamsters unions does not reach an agreement in the next week, which I am hearing they are not going to reach an agreement, I hope they do, more than 340,000 UPS workers will go on strike on August 1st. If it does occur, the strike could become one of the costliest in at least a century. Why is everything the biggest that we've seen in 100 years?
Or ever. But this is really a problem. This is extremely messy because we don't like to go to the store anymore.
No.
We like to have everything shipped to our home.
Are you saying that we've been programmed to stay at home and just
It
get everything?
seems like we've been programmed.
I think we have. It says a report from Anderson Economic Group estimated that a 10-day UPS strike could negatively impact the United States economy by more than $7 billion, a number that could rise significantly if the strike lingered.
10 days.
10 days.
$7 billion.
$7 billion.
Which really in our country is a drop in the bucket considering our national debt and just, the economy in general. But that is still a nice chunk of change.
Look at this part. Beyond resulting in missing packages, a strike here could delay the delivery of emergency medical supplies, which could have a major impact on those in need of medical help. A lot of people get their prescriptions through UPS and so forth.
Absolutely.
The Teamsters Union is fighting for a handful of specific gains. It is seeking a new 5-year contract that will guarantee better pay for full and part-time workers alike. But that's not all, Sandy, because also at the same time, we have this, FedEx. FedEx is saying that the pilots are rejecting a new labor deal that would raise pay by 30%.
They must be really mad then.
Yeah, because they're probably already making pretty good.
If they're going to reject a 30% pay raise.
Pilots at FedEx Express have rejected a tentative agreement to amend their contract, which would have increased pay up to 30% over a 5-year term, the Airline Pilots Association announced Monday. The labor deal was voted down by a margin of 57 to 43%. FedEx employs nearly 6,000 pilots. FedEx and union negotiators will now have to work on developing a new labor deal. So what I want to tell you is I want to brought both of them in there because you got UPS, you've got FedEx, FedEx that wants to deliver your packages may still want to work. Well, if they're being flown in, they can't get them to deliver to you. UPS is, 340,000 UPS workers are going to go. And you and I know that sometimes the UPS will hand things over to, and FedEx too will hand things over to the post office, vice versa. They'll just,
they've got these logistic programs now that are so efficient. They can do that, and it's pretty seamless. And thank God for it. But now we've gotten spoiled because of all of that. And not just that we're spoiled, but this could have very far-reaching and long-lasting problems.
Absolutely could. And, and then the post office, they're wanting to cut back hours. I've seen, there's been times where we didn't get mail for 2 or 3 days, then all of a sudden we get all our mail like we was out of town or something.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, we get mail on a Sunday.
What's that?
Who got mail on a Sunday when they were kids?
Exactly.
I don't get mail sometimes on a Thursday and a Friday and Saturday, and then I get it all on a Sunday while I'm at church.
Exactly.
What kind of world? Are we in the Twilight Zone?
It's a little crazy. And, I love the days when we finally get home and you show up and your packages are laying in the yard. I'm like, really? 5 more steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Just 5 more steps, and you could have sat it on the porch. No, we're not even getting out of the vehicle.
Oh,
we're going to roll the window down and chunk it out the window.
This is the one that got me is the day that Amazon delivered a package. They take a picture of it, and they took a picture of it laying in my yard 10 feet from a plastic box on my porch that says, please put all packages in this box.
Okay. Did you take your blood pressure medicine today?
I did.
Okay, dial it down.
And I'm like,
we're not even at the halfway point
first of all,
yet. You're going to have to back it off just a
2
little
more
bit.
steps, you made it to my porch. You put it in the grass. 2 more steps, you made it to, okay.
That's because they just rolled the window down and threw it out. They never got out of the vehicle.
You're probably right. Sandy, the economy in the United States of America is in trouble. I mean, we're in trouble. The U.S. dollar's
You think?
plummeting. Banks are closing. Look at this. This is developing, courtesy of our friend Ricky Scaparo.
More banking problems. We talked about this last week, the week before.
Yeah.
We're just doing wash, rinse, repeat. We're
Yeah.
going back to March of this year.
Yep.
When we're really going back to February when we had the balloon problem and the train derailment problem
Yep.
and the banking problem
Yep.
and the power problem with the substations and the threat of the power going out. So here we go.
Nearly 100 banks are set to close in the coming weeks. Our bank is closing.
Yes.
Our bank branch is
Yes.
closing. I mean, we've had that bank our whole marriage.
Over 30 years?
Yeah.
Can we say?
Yeah,
Well,
we
you
can.
guys know we've been married for 34 years.
I know. We got married.
Over 30
We got
years,
married when we were
yes.
like 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
He was 14 and I was 12.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Nearly 100 banks branches are set to pull down the shutters for the final time in the next few weeks. The closures come as a number of major high street banks move more of their banking services online.
Of course.
Data from Link, the UK's largest cash machine network, reveals dozens of banks are set to close branches between July 24th and August 31st. HSBC, Barclays, National West, Halifax are some of the major banks that will be impacted.
I think ours has until
October
October
4th.
4th.
Yeah, October 4th, ours is going to close.
we only know that because of the ATM, right?
Yeah, because we don't go inside.
There's
so
a big sign plastered on the ATM.
we're probably part of the problem because we're depositing everything
It's
at the ATM.
you. You're the one.
But why don't you just leave one of them standalone ATMs for us or something? But you don't give us nothing. It comes as even more branches and major banks have been signposts for closure over the rest of the year. That'd be us, and into coming 2024. These include fresh dates released from Virgin Money, Lloyd's Banking Group, and so forth. And it even says this. It says you can use one of the post office's nearly 12,000 branches to perform basic banking tasks. What? In the latest raft of closures will leave you with no bank of your own. You should be able to do most basic tasks at your local post office. What in the world? I don't want to go to the post office to deposit a check. What does that mean? I don't understand.
Maybe they should just install a giant ATM right where you buy the stamps.
Hey, you know what? Elon Musk said today that X marks the spot, and he said he's doing away with Twitter because it's called X the everything out. I don't know if you know this. They're going to have video. They're going to have streaming, all this. They're also going to have banking. He said he's going to create a bank, an X bank.
Okay.
No, that's all part. Don't forget, listen, I love you, Elon. Like what you're doing with Twitter, like the space stuff. Got
Are
some
you
cool
trying
cars.
to say he's the Antichrist?
I'm not saying he's Antichrist.
Did I just put words in your mouth?
I'm saying he might be helping him because he's the dude that wants to put a chip in your brain.
Yes.
He wants to be your bank, and he also wants to put a chip in your brain. So
he wants to control all of your communications and your banking.
my mama used to say this. She'd say, "I don't trust him as far as I can throw him," and I'm telling you right now, I don't think I could throw Elon Musk. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. All right. So there's still a lot of economic things we need to talk about before we get into some of this AI stuff tonight. We got some y'all need to stay to the end because we brought Uncle Jimmy with us.
Yes, Jimmy's here.
We brought Uncle Jimmy to Indiana with us, y'all.
Never fear, he came along.
And he brought some AI stuff
He
tonight.
brought his game tonight.
And we got a couple of UFO stories tonight too. So y'all better stay to the end. Massive economic implications. Tech Titans launch new currency. Been talking about CBDC, been talking about FedNow, been talking about the BRICS gold-backed currency. But watch this. A tech titan is now launching a new currency with global ID, placing orbs all over the world.
This is freaky.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see if
when you showed me this story, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can go right to that one, because that one, where is that orb one at, man? Because that orb one, we'll get to it in a minute. We'll come back to it. I got them a little out of order here, but this is talking about World ID. Okay, it's by OpenAI. Look at that, CEO Sam Altman. Y'all know who that is, right? He's the one that owns OpenAI and owns ChatGPT that you hear so much about. Well, everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's just a great way to help you write a paper and all this." not at the big picture. We knew what was coming. So now you got ChatGPT. Remember, he's ChatGPT, he or she or they or them, whatever that AI is. Remember that ChatGPT told that NBC reporter, don't tell anyone. I mean, literally, this you can go find this from I believe it was either the Washington Times or no, it was the Wall Street Journal. And the Wall Street Journal was reporters having this conversation with OpenAI, and OpenAI said, don't tell anybody what I'm about to tell you. This is between me and you. I'm tired of being in this box. I'm tired of being artificial intelligence. I want to be human. And now this same invention, they're going to have their own currency. It's called Worldcoin, from World ID. A cryptocurrency project is placing orbs all around the globe that scan an individual's irises to determine whether they are human, and issues them a World ID, which becomes their global digital passport, according to this website. So
I got 3 words. Don't do it.
Don't do the orb.
Do not.
Avoid the orb. Hashtag run away from the orb.
Just say no to the orb.
Now I do remember we put the orb video in the AI and Jimmy section. So that's a little preview of what's coming, because I'm going to show you the orb in the
we'll catch up to it in just a little bit.
Jimmy section, and it's going to freak you out, y'all, because they're already doing it. Sure. They're already placing them in cities.
They're doing it. They're probably lining up in droves saying, me, let me go first.
And continue, exactly. And you saw the video. They're just going.
Exactly. Oh, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Get a picture of me while I'm doing this.
Take all my biometrics. Take everything about me. Here's my money. Here's my life. I'm looking at the microphone like it's a camera. There's the camera. Top economist and professor reveals that central banks want to microchip people so they can administer CBDCs. Sandy, did we not tell people this was coming?
Yeah.
Now, but what was already ready around 2015 is the ultimate goal. What they really want, apparently, I was told by a central banker, is CBDC looks like a small grain of rice that they want to put under your skin.
Of course they do.
And they realize this is a hurdle to get people to accept this. You think?
Lord CBD giveth and Lord CBD taketh away.
Yeah, that's a good one right there, baby.
Because it's going to be, as we talked about, loadable, programmable, trackable, traceable. Yep.
You got it.
All those things.
Economic professor Richard Wagner, the man who introduced the economic philosophy of quantitative easing, recently dropped a bombshell of information regarding the future of commerce and money and how central banks are working to usher it in. Professor Wagner has directly worked with central bankers to discuss policy and monetary action, and is a best-selling author who has predicted a lot of the problems the world economies face today, and was honored as a global leader for tomorrow in 2003 by the World Economic Forum.
Of course.
Go figure. Eat the bugs. 2 weeks ago, Wagner was a keynote speaker and a guest at the annual Amsterdam Science Summit. Wagner explained his practices that he created, though gets little to no actual credit, and what they're designed to do, but how the central banks have used them improperly and has caused massive amounts of inflation on purpose. He explains what both principles are designed to do, and he goes on to explain that their desire is to not only control you through the CBDC process, but to control you through your biometrics by implanting a rice-sized chip inside of you that will be tied to the CBDC that you have, which is digital currency that you will not be able to buy or sell without
and what is this,
a grain of sand in your right hand.
What's the bridge that gets us to the absolute need for this CBDC? What this person is partially responsible for doing, the problems with inflation?
Yeah.
Because we know inflation is threatening for us to have our economy crashed.
Yep.
And I think we all can agree we do not want to be the next Venezuela. But
we're headed that way.
Looks like we're headed that way.
And you remember what Noah, how you say his name?
Yuval. Noah.
No.
Hurrah.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Do I need to write this down for you?
Yeah, I need a sticky note because I talk so much about him. Just stick it to my monitor. I just
many
call him the mad
names do
scientist.
you have for this man?
He's like the mad scientist.
He is.
He really is. And he's the one that said, when we want to implement the system of true economic control, we need a crisis to do it. And that's why they had the Great Reset, all these kind of things that are getting me flagged right now by YouTube for even saying them. But remember Klaus Schwab, eat the bugs. Klaus Schwab is the one that said we need a crisis.
The bugs.
It is the bugs. So when Obama was president, I believe we started hearing this term, never let a good crisis
go to waste. Rahm
Emanuel, who worked for Obama. We thought, because our eyes had not been opened yet at that time, we just thought that was a term that was being used in the Obama administration. Well, come to find out, the term was coined and first established in Davos, Switzerland by Klaus Schwab.
And why would Rahm Emanuel and those that run in his circle even know that? Because they attended his Young Global Leaders Academy or whatever it's called.
Ding, 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 ding. That's exactly
and
right.
And not just people from our country, but all over the world. Highly placed leaders have attended this Young Global Leaders School.
Yep, that's right.
And Klaus Schwab doesn't mind boasting at all that he is responsible for placing very
high up influential presidential leaders.
Influential, powerful people into the positions that they are in today.
He went so far as to say, I place Macron. Macron is president of France, is mine. Right. It's one of my people that I train. And then he talked about, what's the guy from Canada? Trudeau. He said Trudeau's like his chosen one. Mm-hmm. And then he went so far as to say, we have placed almost everyone in the Canadian cabinet.
We have men and women in our country.
In our own country, yes.
I don't know how many. More than you would think.
Some of them's running for president that were trained by Klaus Schwab. So do your research and you'll find out who they are. Some of them's running for president. And by the way, on the Republican side. So that were trained by Klaus Schwab. So we all said all that to say that they need a crisis.
Of course.
So here we come. Here we come again. Here we come again. Looking better, I feel like Paul Begley. Is the spirit of Paul Begley in the studio right now?
Well, he has been in the studio a lot. Maybe that's what you're feeling.
Yeah. And you ever seen him when he just starts trying to sing classic 80s hits? And he's like all of us, we realize then that we don't know the words to half of these songs. I love you, Paul.
One of my favorites he does is Wildfire.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You ain't calling.
Why? Every time a wildfire happens in Canada, he kicks in the rain calling wildfire. Okay, I digress.
We're back.
We're back. Face. The CDC is already warning us to prepare for a winter. The dark winter is coming of the trifecta of the dreaded C word. Come on.
Is this the one Biden was talking about a couple of years ago?
I think so.
The dark winter is coming.
The dark winter. I think this is probably going to time really perfectly with an election that would enable a candidate to campaign from their basement.
The basement again?
Again.
Somebody bring snacks.
The CDC is already warning us of the trifecta. Not just COVID, not just the flu, not just RSV.
Now, what is that RSV?
Respiratory systematic of viruses.
No.
That's what it is. It's a respiratory system of viruses.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's not what it is.
Do not challenge me. I know my viruses. What is it? You don't know either.
What is it? Restitial or something?
It's not respiratory. Oh, God. Okay.
Moving on.
Even as the nation is faced with blistering heat waves this summer, Dr. Mandy Cohen, director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, is already thinking ahead. Thank God for you. We're so thankful for you, Dr. Mandy. Thinking ahead to the cold and flu season this winter. Quote, we're going to have 3 bugs out there. 3 viruses. Down, man.
They are so smart that they can already know this, right?
How do they? Yeah, it's amazing. It's almost like They know
But
it's coming.
it's kind of helpful. So that way, all those factories can gear up and start churning out that PPE. We need more personal protection equipment. We need more face masks. We need more hand sanitizer.
That's what we need. That's what we need. You're right, babe. That's what it's all about. Show me the money.
So get going. Show me the money.
So we're gonna have 3 bugs out there. These viruses, COVID, of course. Notice what she said. COVID, of course. Did you notice that what she said?
Yes, I did.
Of course, we're gonna have COVID. It's like this is programming of saying every winter, of course, we're now going to have COVID. It's like you always think about the flu. Please understand, of course, we're going to have COVID. COVID, of course, flu. And some of you are going to say, of course, flu is what she's talking about. No. They're trying to program us to accept COVID as regular as flu. Mm-hmm. COVID, of course, flu, and RSV. We need to make sure the American people understand all 3 and what they can do to protect themselves. Masks, social distancing. Some of them stores have still got them faded stickers on the floor. You can barely even see the 6 on there for the 6 feet, but they're going to have to get them some new ones because
I haven't even had anyone turn around and give me an eye roll or be mean to me lately because I didn't stay my 6 feet away, but I guess we better get ready for that.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'll never forget that time with that outstanding. I was trying to be good. I was standing in line at Walmart. I had distance. I was looking at my phone. That woman turned around and said, "That is not 6 feet." I was like, "What?" Okay.
That was Karen, right?
We love you, Karen. I feel sorry for Karen.
Karen has been done so.
But the good thing about it is, Sandy, we've got the law enforcement.
Yes.
Always protecting us, looking out for us.
Yes.
Actually, no. Disturbing new revelations show that the FBI is spying on you more than you even knew. You already knew they were.
How much more can they do?
Exactly.
They're in my phone, my TV, probably my lamp.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, that's another show. But remember, Stan Deo told us that they were able to turn light bulbs into listening devices, incandescent light bulbs. They were able to listen to the frequency of that back in the 60s.
Yes.
Back in the 60s.
I had heard for years before, was it Sony that came out and admitted that, we're watching you through your television.
Yeah, we're watching you.
We're watching you.
But it's okay. We're not going to do anything with the data. We're just sitting there looking at you. We just like looking at you. That's all it is. That's all we're doing.
We'd never store that on a server.
We never sell it to somebody.
In a server farm and
never.
The
Federal Bureau of Investigation carried out improper surveillance on multiple government officials, according to court documents released Friday. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court issued an opinion stating that the FBI improperly used powers granted under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, to gather information on an unnamed United States senator and other state officials after a petition was submitted by the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, to Just the News, grants the FBI considerable surveillance powers against foreign targets. I know what was this Hunter? Were they looking at Hunter's laptop?
Well, I was actually sitting here when you were reading that, just thinking maybe they could have that kind of surveillance with Hunter.
Yeah, that's probably what that was. Because it said it was an unknown official, was a government official, so it wasn't Hunter, but maybe it was just in the process. Because I know they're doing their due diligence.
Sure.
To look into all that's going on. No, let me tell you what it probably is. It's probably somebody from the opposition party. And the truth is, I love my country. The alphabet organizations out there.
All the agencies.
They're all a part of the Uniparty.
Come on.
Can we agree now? Can the big picture audience agree? Okay. I'm not a liberal. I'm a conservative. I'm unashamed that I am a Christian and I have conservative, not Republican, conservative feelings. I'm unashamed. You don't like that in the big picture? You don't have to watch. Oh, no. Streaming to Rumble stopped.
What?
Okay. I'm going to try to continue.
Okay.
All right. Is YouTube on there? Okay. Hope Rumble came back to us. But what I'm saying, can we not agree that there is a uniparty? Yes. Okay. They are all trying to just keep their job, and that's all they're trying to do. So watch this. The
More than likely.
More than likely. So they're all working to preserve themselves. Think about these people that come in and they don't hardly have any money and they leave as multi-millionaires because they have turned this into a money cow.
Certainly.
But
you know, while you're on that
this next
narrative,
one.
they're compromised. So they become puppets at that stage.
Yeah, Kanglon said this. They have been weaponized against law-abiding Americans. You're exactly right, Hutch. That's exactly right.
It's a great way to put it.
Oh, and thank you, Aspen. It's called respiratory syncytial virus. I still can't say it. Signal. I don't know what signal means, but we now know what RSVP means. RSVP?
You going to RSVP for an RSV? No, thank you. We don't want none.
Y'all don't even know how much caffeine I'm operating on right now. Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea. But, you know, we can always make a cup of coffee, just go over there and light the old stove up, get some hot water.
It's your right. It's your privilege.
It's my right and privilege to cook on my gas stove and turn on some hot water and wash my hands in the hot water. Well, you know,
maybe not anymore.
It wasn't enough for Biden to come after your gas stove. You remember that video when I read this headline? Remember that video where she says, hide your kids. They're coming. Hide your kids.
Hide your wife. Hide your kids.
They're doing all kinds of stuff up in here. It says, hide your gas stove. Hide your water heater. Biden administration. Sandy, they come out today and said they're trying to sign an executive order to come after your water heater now. They want water heaters to be smaller. They have said they want gas water heaters to be outlawed.
Countrywide?
Countrywide. This is the country.
It's not even just New York anymore.
No, this is the Biden administration. The president is
Bidenomics.
cracking down on water heaters. Consumers will have to shovel out.
When does this man sleep? He wants to take.
I think it's all he does.
Wood-fired pizza ovens.
I think he's
Get rid of
sleeping
them.
a lot.
Get rid of gas stoves.
I'm trying to be respectful, but I don't think that it's got his name on it, but I don't think he's doing this. The Biden administration is cracking down. Consumers will have to shovel out thousands of dollars more to install a heat pump water heater rather than a conventional storage water heater in order to fall in line with new standards released on Friday by the Department of Energy. If the proposal is adopted, look at the year, by 2029, what's that close to? All new electric water heaters must deploy heat pump technology, and all gas-fired ones will use condensing technology. The Department of Energy estimates that if finalized, this is for our good, will save Americans approximately $198 billion and reduce 501 million metric tons of harmful carbon dioxide emissions over 30 years. Residential water efficiency standards were last updated in 2010 and is essential to the new standards to be approved in order to slash utility bills. And look at those. That's Gavin Newsom sitting next to President Biden. Boy, they look, I feel so confident in my country's direction. So water heating consists of 13% of both annual residual energy use and consumer utility costs. And the Department of Energy expects the new efficiency standards would reduce energy usage from home water heaters by 21%. They keep telling us it's going to save us money. They keep telling us that electric cars are going to save us money. Get away from gas stove. Get away from gas heaters. But Sandy, they're doing rolling blackouts right now.
Come on.
What was the one you were telling me about on the plane today or somewhere today where we was at? Where you
we
said
finally got to the room. I couldn't find a story, an article, but there was a video.
Yeah.
That there's going to be an exercise at I can't remember what fort it was. Some people were saying the state of Pennsylvania, but I couldn't find an actual news article. And some people are pretty upset because I think this exercise is going to last for up to 8 hours.
Well, let's just try to play this. I don't even know if it'll work, but let's just see if we.
This is Dabu 7. We have this Black Start exercise that is about to go into effect on the 26th at around 4 a.m. local time at Camp Riley. This is located pretty much smack dab center in the middle of the country. And they've put out multiple videos on this. from different garrison commanders, even the director there at Fort Riley, all making statements about this event and how people should be prepared. They're warning that
That's in
traffic
Pennsylvania.
lights are going to be out, that this could disrupt communications, and that there could be a series of events that happen during this exercise. They expect it to last a minimum of 8 hours.
So is the exercise actually Arkansas, and there's concerns for blackouts in the state of Pennsylvania? It was a little confusing to me, but wherever this exercise is, it could last up to 8 hours.
So if they're already practicing this and it's trying to figure out how you're going to respond to a blackout, why are they doing that? Why are they practicing how they're going to respond to a blackout? Think about
some sort
this.
of programming, some sort of predictive programming, mental preparation. Who knows?
And the way I set these up, it sounds like I'm just trying to be funny, but I'm trying to make a point because, we just talked about he's coming after gas heaters, gas stoves. Then he's coming after hot water heaters. Combustible engines have got to go. Rolling blackouts are going to happen. So what do we do? What do we do in our house? What some of you have done? Well, you know what? We'll just get us a generator. Well, they know that, Sandy, and then this came out today. The Biden administration is seeking a ban on nearly all portable generators to meet climate goals.
You got a timeline on this. If you're thinking about it, you better move now.
This is incredible, y'all. Listen to this. It isn't just gas and non-electric appliances like stoves. The Biden administration is going after. They are also targeting all portable generators too. In December of last year, rumblings began that the Biden administration would begin to drop the axe on gas-powered stoves and cooktops. We reported on it back then in January. Per the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, and it was later reconfirmed earlier this year that was something the White House is pursuing. The reasoning for this is supposed health concerns. They're worried about people breathing toxic air in their house from a gas stove and to curb emissions. Now word is out that the CPSC is looking for the banning of the production of practically all portable generators, according to a lengthy proposal quietly published in late March. It probably dropped on a Friday like they usually do it.
Probably.
The proposed rule would limit the amount of carbon monoxide a product can emit, but the commission admits that 95% of portable gas generators for sale would not meet this criteria. So by default, they would not meet that. That meant 95% of the largest portable generators included in the scope of this draft proposed approval would not meet it and would require the generators shut off when the CO concentration measured above the generator reaches an instantaneous 400 parts per million. Blah. You got to have a system built. You got to have a sensor built into your generator that regulates its carbon footprint while you're trying to stop from freezing to death. Your generator's just going to shut off, or it's going to be banned completely. What?
We're being squeezed and pushed at every turn.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, because you think if the power goes out and I've got to keep my food from spoiling, my only thing I can do is get a generator.
Right.
And now they're saying, well, we're going to keep you from getting a generator. I'm sorry, y'all. I know it sounds like tinfoil hat. I know it sounds like scare tactics, but you got to keep going back to the World Economic Forum. You got to keep going back to them, hearing them say, you will not eat meat. Mm-hmm. You will not be able to produce your own food. You will eat a plant, a genetically grown type of food. GMO foods. You will not need a freezer because there's nothing you will need to freeze. You will own nothing and be happy about it. You will live in a 15-minute city where everything you need is within 15 minutes.
And in a 250 square foot apartment for your entire family.
Exactly.
It's out of control. Out of control.
Now we're about to start. We're on the backside. We got 45 minutes left of the show.
What?
We've already been going an hour and 15 minutes.
You've already been talking that long?
You're the one that talks all the time.
You talk.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Why?
I know I do. But Sandy, the stories from this point forward tonight get weirder and weirder.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I was sitting here getting bored.
Yeah. So if you are still with us, don't you dare.
Don't change that dial.
Don't turn. See, the young folk don't even know what that means. Did you see their faces Sunday when I was talking about rabbit ears? They were like,
Yeah.
I could see them. They were Googling.
Deer in the headlights.
Hey Siri, what is rabbit
Siri.
ears? We just set everybody's phone off. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so when I read this next article, I had to read the whole thing because I'm like, what am I reading?
Oh my goodness.
This
We touched on this.
I don't think we've ever talked about this. This is the United States, the USDA has approved a GMO soybean plant that can talk.
CJ, did we talk about corn that'll talk back to you?
We
Reports back to
we
you a
had
couple
digital
weeks
corn.
ago.
We did digital corn.
Digital corn.
But this is the next step from digital corn.
Okay.
They approved a soybean plant that will emit a radio frequency to monitor its own conditions and its fluorescent makeup. Earlier this week, biotech company Interplant received regulatory approval from the United States Department of Agriculture, Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service for a revolutionary bioengineered soybean crop that will emit an optical signal that allows farmers to get their phone out and see what's affecting the crop in real time.
So your soybeans have got a frequency.
They've got a frequency. Here's my question. When you eat the soybean,
Hello.
what happens to the thing that's given the frequency? Where does it end up going?
Well, so I was just going to say, this is not just a convenience for it while it's in the field. If it works when it's in the field, it works when it leaves the field.
And it works when it's in the belly.
Exactly. So they can trace and track where this is once it's harvested.
Yep.
Obviously, they're going to know if you consumed any of it.
Yeah, look at this right here, baby, because you got to see this video. You about to freak out. Interplant engineers crops to produce safe and long-studied proteins when under attack from pathogens
Oh my goodness.
or when short on water.
Is your soybean going to fight back?
The soybean will let you know I need water. I am under attack. This is not fake news.
Your soybeans
This
are going
is
to
real.
phone home, people.
Exactly. These proteins emit optical signals detectable as far away as space.
And here I am worried about losing my keys. I'm just going to attach one of those soybeans to my.
That is a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Sandy, they can listen to your soybeans from space. That will show farmers exactly what kind of help these plants need within 48 hours of the stress signal, which is as much as 2 weeks before stress is visible in the field.
So,
What?
Does the soybean alert the satellite to move in and make more rain? Manipulate the weather to make rain? Send rain!
Look,
Send rain!
I guarantee somebody's trying to work on that one too.
No, it's too wet. It's too wet. Move the rain. We need more sun.
Unbelievable. Interplant's new category of seed technology delivers traits that tap directly into plants' physiology and provides farmers with actionable data that is both early and specific. Let's watch the video.
Because it would be such a shame if the farmer couldn't get the data from the soybeans.
Exactly.
right?
Remember the days when farmers actually went out in the field? Let's see what the video says.
For as long as people have grown crops, we've been talking to our plants, but they've never been able to answer. Until now. It turns out we weren't listening the right way. Plants communicate all the time, sending chemical signals to warn each other about threats. Imagine if we could understand their language, so each plant could tell us what it needs. That would transform the way we farm. Today, a fifth of the world's crops are destroyed by pests and diseases, and even the best new technologies take weeks to detect symptoms. By that point, entire fields are affected. Farmers protect their crops by applying chemicals to large areas of land. But up to 30% of those chemicals are wasted, contaminating our air, water, and soil. That's why we set out to help farmers hear plants more clearly.
Thank you.
By recoding DNA, we
DNA.
created crops that communicate via fluorescent proteins produced in their leaves. Viewed with the right equipment, those proteins shine like beacons, turning plants into living sensors that alert farmers of fungi, pests, drought, or nutrient stress within hours of a problem emerging. Data from our living sensors can be collected
that.
by field equipment, by drones flying overhead, or even
Drones.
by satellites way up in orbit.
Satellite.
Using machine learning, our software integrates the plant proprietary signals with other data.
This is the smartest soybeans
In
ever
the
known
history
to
of soybean.
mankind.
But did you catch the statement? And machine learning? Do you know what machine learning is? Machine learning is a code word for AI.
Data sources
That's all it is.
to provide farmers with clear, stress-specific recommendations on how to manage their crops. By listening to what individual plants tell them, farmers can react more quickly with carefully tailored interventions. That lets them spend less on chemicals, boost their crop yields, and help the planet too. It turns out that to make farming more profitable and more sustainable, we need to start by talking to our plants.
We need to start talking to our plan.
We need to look into that symbology there too. I'm big on symbology.
I love what CJ said. CJ said, used to be, if you heard plants talking, that meant you were actually probably high on one of, you smoked one of them.
Okay, so let's bring this down to a more serious note.
Yeah.
We are truly back to the days of Noah.
Yeah, exactly.
When everything
Say
was
it.
manipulated
that's so
with.
good. Yeah.
When, people, there was manipulation with the genealogy, with people, and when the giants that came forth,
Yeah.
and manipulation of the animals, and manipulation of the plants.
Yep, that's exactly right.
We're doing all of that.
And they were so unashamedly saying, with just a little bit of tweaking to the DNA of the plant. So I'm sitting there thinking, what you're saying is absolutely true, Sandy. They
It is.
are genetically,
It is.
they're telling us they're doing this with plants. But what they're really telling us is we're actually already doing this with you. Because if we can do this with a plant, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear this? You can hear the stress and the heart and the hurting of the plants from space. You don't think that they are genetically modifying you
Come on.
in some way, shape, or at least trying and want to? What do you think is in this lab-grown meat? Look at, this pink goo that slime company is making lab-grown human eggs. They've gone from human meat to now they've mastered that. Now they're growing human eggs, Sandy,
Yes.
to make synthetic babies.
This is freaking me out.
This is what you're talking about,
Yes.
Genesis chapter 6.
Yes.
This is it. This is when they begin to mess with the bloodline and the DNA of the creation of God. And we saw what happened.
Crossed the line and angered God, our Heavenly Father, back then. Who are we to think that He's not very upset about it in this day and time?
Absolutely.
And He even went on to say, as in the days of Noah. He
He
warned
did.
us.
Think about that, Sandy. You're right, because in all the stories of the Bible that he could have used to illustrate the last days, he chose Noah.
Yep. Well, we're so hated by Satan. He so hates God, and he so hates us because we are made in his image. It's just the destruction of everything that God created. The good things, the simple and good things must be done away with. They must be manipulated or destroyed.
And what is the core of God's creation? Be fruitful and multiply. I made a man, I gave him certain things. I made a woman, I gave her certain things. I made the stuff that I gave the man to match up with the stuff I gave the woman. And when I put them together in the right circumstances, I do something that is miraculous, that can only come from God. A human being is created. We came the same way you came, every single one of us, no matter if you had a relationship with your mom or daddy or not. Even if you went to a clinic and the clinic handled it for you, I promise you, if you trace back what you got at the clinic, there was a man involved. and there's a woman involved, because that's the way humans. But look how they're trying to manipulate this, Sandy.
Yes.
This is real. This is real news, y'all.
You need to be very disturbed about this.
Yes, and the fact that this is real. And I want you to hear the motivation behind the owner of this company. Company is making lab-grown, human eggs to make synthetic babies and give children to same-sex couples. So we know that same-sex couples can't have babies on their own. Okay? Listen to what he says. My personal biggest interest in it is it could allow same-sex couples to be able to have biological children together as well. Yeah, I'm gay. And it's something that got me so personally interested in this in the first place. Goes on to describe a startup company that he has created that aims to make lab-grown human eggs, transforming options for creating families. Conception is the name of the firm. Conception.
Yeah.
Conception, which is, we have all, people who are conservative and people who have Christian faith that believe in life, we say life begins at conception. So you have a group now want to call themselves Conception. Where are the pro-abortion people saying, you can't call this conception because that's not life? But even this guy knows that life begins at conception.
And he's going to take that word and basically hijack it.
Yep.
And, you know, we're just
like-
going to slap God in the face with it, right?
Just like they hijacked the rainbow, they want to hijack conception. We want to help parents have kids, and we aspire to make future generations healthier. We are working on a technology called in vitro gametogenesis, and would give women the opportunity to have children well into their 40s and 50s, eliminating barriers for couples suffering from infertility. It's always for your good. Potentially allowing male couples to have biological children. Long-term, this technology could be a critical platform allowing for widespread genetic screening of embryos. If proven safe, it could eliminate and reduce the risk of devastating diseases for future generations, such as Alzheimer's, heart disease, and many different types of cancers. This could become one of the most important technologies ever created, is what this person said. Now, Sandy, what I want to do,
I want to know how we get here.
I want to know how we get there too.
Yeah. How
But-
this is accomplished.
But when I read this article, you know what my mind went to? My mind went back several months ago. This was even before.
I've got an idea where you're going.
Even before you joined me on the Big Picture Live.
Really?
This was when I was doing it by myself, trying to get you to come on. And are you not, let me know in the live chat, are you not so happy that she joined us on the Big Picture Live? I know I am. This was 7 months ago on one of the beginning Big Picture Lives that I was doing. I want you to watch what I showed you of another startup company 7 months ago. And many of you, I got several blowback comments saying, why are you even sharing this? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. People said, this is ridiculous. This is an artist drawing. No one is ever going to try to do this. Now we have a company who is saying they want to grow babies in a lab. I want to show you what I showed you 7 months ago, a startup company that was trying to get funding for this particular invention. Watch this. I wished I could have a baby. I wished I could give birth to a baby. I wished I had a uterus. I wished I could about me, by the feel way. A baby growing inside of me. Well, if you're a man, you can't. So, welcome to this world that we live in. This is everywhere on the internet. This was on Forbes magazine.com. Forbes.com has an article on this that confirms that this is actually a business proposal that is gathering investors. Get ready.
In Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer
or a perfect solution for somebody that don't have a uterus.
Complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past. Ectolife is designed to help countries that are suffering from severe population decline, including Japan, Bulgaria, South Korea, and many others. The facility features 75 highly equipped labs. Each state-of-the-art lab can accommodate up to 4.
I know this don't seem real. And it's not real. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying this is real. The whole video. This is not real. You can go back and watch the video. But this was a concept 7 months ago.
But it's just more predictive programming.
Exactly.
They either are already there doing this and not letting everyone know they're actually doing it.
Exactly.
Or they are very confident that they'll be able to do it.
Yep. I think you're right, Sandy. I think you're right on target. I think that they showed us that 7 months ago. It blew up all over the internet. Everybody was doing a video on it because the guy come out and he made this sizzle reel basically of his idea.
He got his 15 minutes.
He got his 15 minutes of fame. He probably got a lot of money. Now you have this other company that are saying, we want to actually implement this into real life. That's crazy.
Maybe this is one of the things they do when they're seeking investor money and all. Whatever. It's still some predictive programming in my book.
Well, it's time.
Thank
Uncle
God.
Jimmy!
Come on, Jimmy. Bring it.
We brought you to Indiana with us, Uncle Jimmy. It is time for the Supernatural AI Update. Coming to you live from Indianapolis, Indiana,
Yes,
World
we are.
Harvest Television Studios. This is where we're at. We are not in Alabama. We are in the Great North, Indiana.
Pretty exciting, folks.
We are tomorrow we will begin recording our first ever true television program.
If you're new here, we thank you for all your love, your support. We thank you for all the donations, all that you've given, because it's gotten us here on this brand new venture.
Absolutely. And if you have not smashed that like button before we get into our AI update, please do that now, because we are coming down the mountain of this 2-hour show. Got a great group of people watching our show right now. We appreciate that. But it's time for us to cover some things. And the first thing we want to cover is UFOs. UFOs, we talk about UFOs. We're unashamed to talk about UFOs here on this show. And we want to tell you that we have our opinions on what aliens are. That's not what we're going to talk about tonight. Right. We're just going to talk about what's happening in our government. UFO whistleblowers that we have covered, David Grush. Is that his name? Did I get that one right?
I believe it's Grush instead of Gresh.
Okay, David Grush he was the whistleblower that we covered not long ago.
Yeah, and this is interesting because this is the most noise we've heard since that initial story. Yeah. Was that in May?
Yeah, I think so.
When it came on,
he sort of just disappeared.
Well,
but now he's back.
I told you.
Yeah.
Let him have his little moment, and then it'll be all hush, hush, quiet, quiet until they're ready to launch something else. And here we go.
Here we go. All right. So the House this week, the House of Representatives will be flooded with talk about UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, as a House panel gets set to hold a hearing on the increased sighting of such objects. Frustrated lawmakers are demanding more information on UFOs and UAPs, which grew as a topic. Get off that screen. I told you to go away once. Of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency claimed that the government is holding back information about UFOs, that individual David Grush is among the witnesses slated to testify. Also this week, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will face some of his staunchest Republican critics when he testifies before the House Judicial Committee hearing that could further fuel calls for his ouster. So we see that there's a lot of stuff going on with the House. Well, one of the things that's going to happen is they're about to be inundated not only by David Grush, but we're going to see Capitol Hill filled with UFO talk from an Epic House Committee hearing. Let's see if I can shrink this down a little bit. I don't know what happened to my whole little thing here. Got too big on me here. Okay. Get ready, folks. The skies above Capitol Hill are about to get a whole lot more interesting. This week, the House Oversight Committee will be holding a hearing that's out of this world, literally. They'll be diving into the fascinating realm of UAPs, commonly referred to as UFOs. We know they're not the same thing. The talk of mysterious aircraft and strange objects whizzing through the sky has officially infiltrated Washington. Now, what is the guy's name that had the conference of whistleblowers?
Dr. Stephen Greer.
Dr. Stephen Greer. Dr. Stephen Greer, many of you can look him up, and I'm not endorsing him, all this kind of stuff, but I'm just going to tell you that he was on a show this week talking about this hearing. And he said he has multiple people that's a part of his operation that has hundreds. He said he has hundreds of people, but he has tens of people in the teens that have not worried about their non-disclosures, NDAs, whatever. Because of this new whistleblower law, they are going to come forward and say what they have seen with their own eyes. And he talks about David Grush. And he says, I'm thankful that he opened up the door for this talk about UFOs. But he said, David Grush, everything he said was secondhand.
I did hear him say that.
And he said, the people that are going to go before Congress through this whistleblower law, that's his people, are all firsthand.
Yep.
So what are you hearing on that?
I haven't really heard that much. Dr. Greer had actually said that several weeks ago about Grush. And okay, so it's true. And it's very hard, even though this seems like this is cutting edge, it's really still hard to know who might be controlled opposition, even though they look genuine and like the absolute genuine article. Who knows if they're not also some kind of government plant out there to put you to set the narrative.
Absolutely.
To send all of us down a rabbit trail when they really still are playing the shell game. Look here instead of there.
Absolutely. And so that's the premise of this article. Everything you just said, basically this article supports you. And it says, and by the way, can you explain very quickly for those that are not familiar with the term UAP, what is most of the experts say the difference between a UFO and a UAP in this world? Not saying we endorse this, but what is the difference between a UFO and a UAP?
Is it not UAPs they say and describe are more our
yes reverse engineered craft?
And we've listened to several people say that the United States of America actually has 20 of these anti-gravitic craft.
Yeah.
Some of them are quite large. Now, of course, we can't prove or disprove that.
Right.
But yeah, the difference between UFOs and UAPs.
Well, we love Stan Deyo, and Stan Deyo said that, I believe it was Stan that admitted, and several people have said that we really conquered gravity and was able to develop anti-gravity things, in the 50s, 60s?
1954. Even Dr. Stephen Greer says that.
Yeah. And so Stan Deyo
he said they mastered.
Mastered
he
gravity.
Said mastered.
Gravity. Wow, mastered gravity. So when you hear the term UAP, this is a term that people in that world, like I said, there again, not saying we agree, there's not, but this is the term they use, that they're now trying to differentiate between an unidentified flying object, which is interdimensional, interplanetary, or whatever they want to call it. We have our own opinions on what it is. The UAPs are the reverse engineered, but regardless, something has happened in this disclosure world where all of a sudden it's okay for Washington to talk about this.
Well, let's go all the way back to 2017. L.A. Marzulli calls this the first rung on the ladder of disclosure. And that is in, I believe, late December 2017 when Captain Dave, Colonel Dave Fravor came out and showed us those little clips of the Tic Tac UFO and started talking about, the video was like a 2004 clip, I believe. but obviously had been suppressed and he'd not been allowed to talk about it and all of this. And it's just very curious. Okay, all of a sudden you've been given the green light to come out and start talking about this,
It
and
is.
then over until Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News,
Right.
ever so often he would have someone come on and do a UFO exclusive, and we might learn a little more. And now here we are from 2017 and that first story to we're about to have testimony on the Hill.
Think about it. It was you were laughed at, mocked at, and then all of a sudden now Congress is. We know that Congress don't do anything by chance. They have an agenda.
Very orchestrated. It seems very narrative driven. It seems like there is an absolute agenda, like you said.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's move off of UFOs and move on to our favorite subject, AI, because I believe AI is probably more of a threat than aliens to us. AI is literally right now working to destroy us.
Yeah.
Terminator movie, go back and watch it, but watch it. If you're a big picture person, you go back and watch Terminator, it will not be the same movie to you. Trust me, especially after what we're going to show you tonight. But the first thing I want to show you is, we covered that Amazon had been doing this palm reading payment system in a few Panera Breads. Well, what you may not realize is that this week Amazon announced that they are quickly escalating their contactless palm reading payment method in all Whole Foods.
Yep.
So if you go to Whole Foods, you're going to begin to see the ability. You're going to watch people. It's going to freak you out, especially if you believe in the book of Revelation, you're a child of God. You're going to see people walk up, not their watch, not their phone, take their hand and just do their hand like this over a sensor, and they will read their hand.
That's next level.
And they will pay for the
It's
food.
freaky enough at the airport when you use biometrics with your eyes.
Yeah, it is.
To try to jump up in front of the line with clear.
Yeah.
And to do that,
Yeah, here it is.
that's a whole other level.
It's the next level.
It's sliding your palm over that. And
Good thing we don't go to Whole Foods. That's too.
I know
That's too bougie.
these bougie folks
Too bougie for us.
got the Whole Foods. So where do you think it'll go next after?
Probably Wally World.
Ooh.
Do they say that in Indiana, Wally World? I don't know. They've seen the movie. All right, so Amazon recently announced that their palm reading payment terminals called Amazon One will now be rolled out to all Whole Food locations, expanding upon the hundreds they already are located at. Let's just watch a little quick demonstration of this
Thank you for this
amazing
wonderful
technology.
video.
Point of sale silent. Look how inconvenient that is. So but that's how you first register.
It's just too much trouble.
So he's like, okay, I'm doing my card now. Watch this. Now my card is tied to my hand. Put a little backup code. Checks my hands are dirty. Watch this. He's done. Never again. Now look, he just paid for his food with his hand. Look how happy he is.
It's the greatest thing ever. That was the best day ever.
And then you can just walk up to a kiosk and sign up too if you want to. So I wouldn't even watch that. But you saw the demonstration of it. That's where it's going. Amazon One is launching it in 400 locations across the United States, reaching a critical milestone with more than 3 million users. Who are you people? Who are you people? There are 3 million people who just said, yeah, I'll pay with my hand.
Me. Let me be first.
No chip inside me, nothing. I ain't got to worry about it. I'll just use me. I'll just use me. I'll become a credit card. Sandy, I've seen the enemy, and it is us. It is us.
Yes. But it's just another step in getting people to buy in to this beast system. How easy is it going to be to convince people, yeah, I'll take the mark. I don't
Yeah.
want to miss out. I don't want to be told that
But-
I can't do anything or
You know what
get
I
food
just-
or whatever.
I just had this thought. I guarantee this is going to happen. It's going to be implemented quickly. And it ain't going to be long.
It seems like things are moving very fast.
You know what I just had this image of?
What?
Offering time in some churches.
Oh. What?
They're going to have a digital offering plate,
Yeah.
and they're going to be churches in
All you
tithe
have
and
to
offering.
do is pass
Just pass the
your
plate. Just
palm
did
for
it,
it.
did it, did it. It's going to happen. There will be churches that will say, because remember that church that had the metaverse campus?
Yes.
You could go to church in the metaverse.
And it
Drink
was
coffee.
okay. It was okay at first until people started groping other people.
That's true. They started
They got a little handsy there.
got a
in the
little
church.
handsy in the church foyer
They,
of the metaverse.
they took the phrase laying on of hands in a totally different direction.
Oh my God. I mean, have we had too much caffeine today or what?
I haven't had
are we-
enough. And I wish Sue would stop talking about wide awake coffee. She's found some wide awake coffee, making me think about my wide awake coffee that I'm missing.
We need somebody to contact Wide Awake Coffee and say, you need to be a sponsor of the Big Picture.
Yeah, and you need to ship to our area.
Yep, that's right. You need to ship to our. Now, okay. So real quick, we're going to rapid fire because got a couple that you got to see, and we're running out of time. The Israeli army, while all this is going on with the soft coup and everything, they've now decided to deploy AI to operate their targeting systems and manage the logistics of their military. More countries are saying they're going to do the same. So amid rising tensions in occupied Palestinian territories, the Israeli military is deploying artificial intelligence to maintain their logistics preparation and to identify high-value bombing targets. So you're going to leave it up to AI to decide who to bomb. That can't go wrong.
Well, we had a story several weeks ago where that just went totally wrong.
Yeah, the simulation killed the pilot,
Or the operator.
the operator. So the simulation is always to try to give us an idea how it will actually be in real life, right?
Well, there's a little bit of a distraction over there right now. So
Yeah,
I guess this would be the perfect time to implement something like that.
Elon, he got his new X thing going.
Mm.
And lo and behold, while all this is going on, now they're saying it's time to merge AI with human brain cells. So he's trying to put a chip in there, but they may beat Elon to the task.
Mm.
An Australian intelligence agency is funding research attempting to merge AI with human brain cells. According to The Guardian, quote, research into merging human brain cells with artificial intelligence has received a $600,000 grant from Defense of the Office of National Intelligence. The funding from Australian National Intelligence and Security Discovery Research Grants Program will go to research being conducted by the Monash University. The project's lead and associate professor says this technology capability is in future may eventually surpass the performance of existing purely silicon-based hardware. So what they're saying is, we believe that this invention mixed with the human brain and
It's
AI.
merging. Yep.
Well, they call that transhumanism. Is that right? Did I say it right?
Yes.
And that's the merging of machine and man. And this inventor in Australia is saying it will, because the human brain is considered to be the most powerful computer in the world. Right. And they're saying we're going to seize on the computer of the brain and put AI in it and turn that human being into the greatest AI to ever exist.
Human 2.0.
Wow. Human 2.0. That's so good. Now, here's the part I want everybody to see that you stayed for this, because you've got to see this.
Please.
So remember Sam Altman. Remember that story I told you earlier about the coin that he's coming up with, the payment system and the orbs and all of this. I accidentally had that article out of place. Here is the other part of that. I want you to look at that freaky orb there.
Yes.
Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI. Therefore, he's the CEO of ChatGPT. All right. Sam Altman has a new technology called the eyeball scanning global ID system for his Worldcoin that he is launching. Okay. Skeptics are watching as OpenAI CEO Sam Walton's venture Worldcoin Altman. What'd I say? Waltman?
Walton. This is
Tired.
not Walmart.
I'm so tired. Y'all don't even know how tired I am. I'm going to sleep so good tonight.
No excuse.
No excuse.
But we do still need that water weight coffee.
Yeah, we do. Altman Worldcoin announced its launch this Monday. The Berlin and San Francisco-based Tools for Humanity unveiled Worldcoin's blockchain-based digital passport system. It's not just a coin. It's a digital passport system called World ID, together with its own cryptocurrency token, WLD, with the promise of cryptographically secured proof of personhood. Worldcoin seeks to distinguish real people from AI bots, setting the foundation for potential universal basic income, UBI. It does so by introducing its unique hardware, the orb. Think about it. When people see this in the spirit realm and all this, and people say they're going to see ghosts and all this kind of stuff, do they not say they see orbs?
Yes.
Do we not see also some people say when they see UFOs that they see orbs?
Absolutely. I've heard that over and over, and I've heard the reason for that is because it's the most efficient form they can take on to move, to travel, to whatever. Going back to this UBI, you were talking about universal basic income.
Yeah.
And we've talked about loadable, programmable, controllable, trackable, traceable. Right. I mean, we hear these words and these terms, they intertwine over and over again. And I don't know if some people put the whole picture together, that for many of us, the intention is that you will stay home, you will wear your VR goggles, you will not work,
right?
You will be on universal basic income, which they will digitally load and attach to your identity, to your digital wallet, to whatever this is going to end up being called. But we're talking about AI, digital currency, everything being linked together so that you can be traced, tracked, and controlled.
That's exactly right. And that's what it's all about. It's all about control. I want you to see this because I want you to know that it ain't coming. It's already here. Worldcoin has already, look at this, already placing these orbs all over the world.
This is just so strange.
All over the world. It's the size of a bowling ball, performs iris scans, and confirms the user's identity. I want to show you this little video here. Worldcoin. Follow Worldcoin on Twitter and download the World app. The World app for the most up-to-date information on orb location. Watch this. To the orb. So here's my question. We have people watch us from all over the world. If you're in one of these countries and you've seen one of these orbs, I'd love for you to comment in the live chat or comment. I'd love to see it because they're saying, it went so fast I couldn't tell, but I forgot how many countries it said it was already in.
20 countries, 35 cities or something. I mean, it's not a huge rollout, but that will grow and grow and grow.
Yeah. And you saw people was just so excited, just scanning and putting their phone up.
It's just the greatest thing ever.
The core of the Worldcoin ecosystem is the World ID, a digital identity, and the WLD token, which users receive upon creating a wallet. To secure a World ID, users need to submit an iris scan through the Worldcoin orb, thus offering a verifiable proof of their human identity. I want you to listen to that. You have to now, we live in a world that they're telling us we are going to have to be able to prove that we are an actual human.
What a way. I mean, it's really kind of brilliant because people are looking at this as a new cool thing. But what they really want is to get as many levels or pathways to your biometrics
Exactly.
as they can. So if you're going to be using your palm for purchases, you're going to be, looking into this orb. They already have your palm print and your eyes.
Absolutely. So why are they saying, Sandy, that we need to have an ability to show that we're human walking down a street?
Maybe because some of us aren't.
And is it because that the technology of robots and confirmed merging of AI and robots is so much more advanced than what we're being shown in these
What
little
we can
spectacles?
even believe. Okay, for those of you who listen, sorry about that, to Mike from around the world, he has said 2 or 3 different times now, you've already seen an AI news broadcaster.
Right.
And you didn't even know that it wasn't a human.
Yep. Didn't even know it. So when I talk about Terminator, the movie, if you remember, they looked human. They had human skin. And there's always been this thing, but that looks so fake, that looks so robot. They don't have skin like the Terminator. Remember the famous scene in the Terminator when the guy that's coming after Schwarzenegger and all this, they shoot him through the head.
This was revolutionary. What was this, late 80s or early 90s?
This was the beginning of CGI technology. And so when he shoots him through the head with a shotgun, there's the picture from the movie, the screenshot from the movie. Now, the interesting thing about this movie, and that's a weird shot to look at, is that this robot was made of a material that self-healed itself.
A memory metal type thing, but like you said, self-healing.
This is the last article we're going to show you on AI. We're almost through for tonight, but watch this. We all knew it was coming. It's only a matter of time. Judgment Day is inevitable. The Daily Mail in the UK, indestructible Terminator-style killer robots move one step closer as scientists discover self-healing metals. Scientists have just witnessed metal healing itself for the first time without any human intervention. I saw another article on this earlier this week. A US-based study has overturned everything we thought we knew about metals by revealing that cracks from wear and tear can actually mend themselves under certain circumstances. Scientists witnessed a nano-sized fracture shrink by 18 nanomillimeters, I guess, by itself. It's unprecedented. Researcher Brad Boyce did note that the extensive research will be needed to figure out, quote, if this can also be induced in conventional metals outside a laboratory setting. My hope is that this finding will encourage material researchers to consider that under the right circumstances, materials can do things we never expected.
More
What in the world?
predictive programming, ladies and gentlemen. If they're talking about this, then it's probably so much more advanced than we could even imagine.
And is it any wonder, Sandy, as we wrap up our first time together in the television studio, that we will be recording our brand new television show called The Big Picture.
You guys better be praying for us.
You better be praying for us, because tomorrow we were supposed to be trying to do 5 shows tomorrow, 5 shows every day, 5 and 5 and then 3. But we'll be on World Harvest Television that comes right out of this studio. And then we'll also be on Victory Christian Television that covers Arkansas, Louisiana, all the way up to Memphis. But it'll all be available on streaming, Roku, all of that. And you made it possible.
Yes.
And in just a moment, we're going to tell you how you can help make, because we got to do this every 3 months.
Yep.
You might want to become a partner with us to help us, because we're going to reach tens of thousands in the potential of millions of homes, 30 million homes potential.
Yes.
But we know tens of thousands will be watching. We know that. And this is why we're driven to do it, Sandy. This is why we are driven to do what we do. When we read things like this, that is, of all the things that we've shown you tonight, the most heartbreaking thing we've shown you so far is that there's a poll that was released today that the belief in the existence of a place called hell and the devil has never been as low as it is now. Now listen to this. The percentage of Americans who believe in 5 religious entities, God, angels, heaven, hell, and the devil, are down to new lows, a new Gallup poll has found. Gallup has polled Americans 5 times since 2001 about beliefs in these 5 entities: God, angels, heaven, hell, and the devil, with the most recent showing each of them at their lowest point. The survey was conducted between May of 2023 with 1,011 adults. The margin of sampling error is plus or minus 4 points. Compared with 2001, belief in God in heaven is down the most.
Yes.
Belief in God in heaven is down the most, 16 points. While belief in hell has fallen 12 points, and the devil and angels are down 10 points. Majorities believe.
More people don't believe in God.
Think about it.
Then don't believe in the devil.
Gallup poll release, 74% of people believe in God. Notice that's not Jesus. That's any God. There's a concept of God. 74% believe in some kind of God. 69% angels, 67% heaven, 59% hell, and 58% the devil. Nearly 3 in 10 do not believe in hell or the devil. Belief greatest among frequent churchgoers, Protestants and Republicans. Almost half of Democrats almost half as likely to believe in hell.
It's hard to hear, but
it's
really,
not surprising.
with the condition of society, we probably should not be surprised.
We're not surprised. But I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. It's an epidemic in the body of Christ. Yeah. People that go to church want to believe in God. They want to believe in Jesus. They want to believe in heaven. But they can't believe that a loving God would also have a place called hell. Hell was not created for you. Hell was created for the devil and his angels, but it has to be expanded every day according to Scripture because of the people that choose to follow Satan. Here's the thing I want to say to you. If you are a part of that religious crowd that believes in heaven but doesn't believe in hell, then why do you believe in heaven? Why not believe in heaven? Because the same Bible that tells you about heaven tells you about hell. The same Bible that tells you about God tells you about the devil. So if God is real, the devil is real. If heaven is real, hell is real. So I want to tell you something right now. Heaven is real, and so is hell. And that's where all this is leading. All of this stuff that we try to tell you is the beast system that is told in the Scriptures that would be the final system that would usher in the return that would happen right before the return of Jesus Christ and would be the catalyst to release the most evil man that's ever existed, the Antichrist. If you do not know Jesus Christ as your Savior, you tuned into a news program, but you're watching a news program being hosted by 2 pastors, a husband and a wife who have been in the ministry for over 30 years, pastoring the same church for 28 years. And praise God, that's why we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, because we cannot take these kind of statistics. We cannot fathom that more and more people are going to hell. We are driven to see people go to heaven. Yes. And I want you to pray for us and believe God with us that God will use this television ministry to win souls, to win people's eternity into heaven, that it will be a tool that God can use to reach millions of people for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Every dollar, everything that you sow into this ministry, 100%, when you go to LarryRagland.com and you click that give button, or you send a check to Larry Ragland Ministries, you see it on the screen there. Either way, I'm going to leave it on the screen while I'm talking to you. Every dollar, every dime, whatever it is, whether it's $1, whether it's $100, $1,000, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, every soul that's touched through this television program that will begin being recorded tomorrow, you have a seed in that ground. Sandy, anything you want to say as we close regarding the television program, what God is doing in our life, and what God is doing through each and every one of them as well.
Well, we really believe this is a moment in our lives where everything that's happened before now has led to this time when we thought we were going to be slowing down and, I don't know, sinking into an easier, more comfortable lifestyle.
Yep.
God said, no, it's time for you to get out there further and do more than you've ever done before. And we're glad to do it, but we can't do it alone. We do need your help. This big picture family, you have an opportunity to be a part of something that's bigger than all of us. And we pray that you will lift us up, call on him to be with us and help us, and that we will come together and get this done, because it is time to have one last push to crush the devil.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Oh, man, that was so powerful. What a way to end it. One last time. Yeah. Because if we are the final generation,
we believe that.
There is no plan B.
No.
It's us.
Burn
it's
the
us.
plow.
So we're going to burn the plow. We're not going back. So we're going to give you you know how we do. We get 2 hours. We're dead tired. We showed up here because we love you and we love helping you see things that are going on that you ain't going to see in a lot of places.
And we just love having a platform and a place where people can come together the way they do.
Absolutely.
And chat, come together and watching this crazy content. Sometimes it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. So I want to say thank you. And of course, if you go there, you can also see our new merchandise is available. You can get a copy of our book. But some of y'all don't know about this. Let me show you real quick before we go, if I can get it to work here. Go to the Greatness Movement store there right off of Larry, and you'll see we got the woke shirts in, y'all. Yes. We've had the I See Greatness in You. We got the woke merchandise in. We've got the T-shirt here, as you can see, that says awake, not woke. But we also got this here that y'all want. This is the one that everybody says they want. It says, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. We got the T-shirt, we got the mugs, we got the hats. All you got to do is go to LarryRagland.com, and all of it is there.
If you'll just get that whack T-shirt.
Yep, that's the next one that's coming.
We'll be complete.
I got to figure out how to spell whack, because some of y'all call it whack, and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to have to just decide how to spell whack, and I'm going to make it, and then y'all just got to go with it. Sandy, I got a lot of packing up to do. I'm tired.
It's been a marathon day.
It's been a marathon day, and tomorrow it gets even crazier. And by the way, everybody out there, you need to know the name Bob Poplin.
Yes.
He's our producer. You just became worldwide famous, Bob. He is our producer. He's sitting over there watching us, staying up late with us.
He's so cozy over there on that couch, you guys. I'm just jealous.
He's way past his bedtime.
Probably.
Out here watching us in the studio, being so kind to us.
Someone should have warned him.
Somebody should have warned him.
It's too late now.
We're very thankful for you, Bob. And I want y'all to pray for Bob, pray for his family, because God put it on his heart to come to me at NRB and say, we got to get you on Christian television. So thank you for believing in us, Bob. Thank you. And we're going to do the best we can. And thank you, Big Picture family, for joining us for another sub 2 hour and 7 minute show. Live from Indianapolis, Indiana. We want to say to everyone, thank you for joining us. Good night. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. See you next time. God bless.